are the fruits of the harvest of wisdom that we all should have the right to enjoy. And so let's do so. And I love the writings of Solomon, Ecclesiastes. Reason must be the beginning of every activity, says Ecclesiastes. Reflection must come before any undertaking. Thoughts are rooted in the heart. And this sends out 4 branches: good and evil, life and death. And always mistress of them all is the tongue. Again, the Bible, if you read it like a bit every day, takes you a year. You learn something from every passage, just as you do from the Quran or from the Lotus Sutra. And I've spent my life not only reading and studying them, but also teaching them. I'm going to finish there because there's just, I could go on for hours. But I hope you get the picture. I hope you realise that scholarship, education, is how we're going to solve the problems of this planet. Please join my institute. Become a member. We have a network of people, but we need to get the teachers and educators of the world active. Let's set up education aid in different countries. Let's get it approved by UNESCO at top level. If you have influence with educators and you like what I'm saying, then please share it. Send them. Send it to anyone you know, any professors you know of education. We can't do this alone. This is a job for all of us to do together. The media won't help, it seems to me. The media is like a hornet's nest of people that want to elevate bad news and the opposite of education. Education doesn't get in the media, but there is an alternative media that's building up. I'm part of that, of people that want to spread the good news. And I want to finish with my last quote from the Quran, which I've been working on just this last week. And that's the good news, An-Naba. It's Surah 78. And it's a beautiful surah about news. An-Naba, meaning the great news, is from the same root as the word Nebo, who was the god of wisdom for the ancient Sumerian, Babylonian, Mesopotamian culture. Nebo was the son of Marduk, who's the king of the gods. But Nebo is my favourite because he was the god of learning and scribes and scholars, just as Thoth was for the Egyptians. So I'm a priest of Thoth, or Nebo, if you want, as a scholar. And here in the Quran we have a whole surah for him, Naba, the news. Concerning what are they disputing? Concerning the great news, about which they cannot agree. Verily, they shall soon come to know. Verily, verily, they shall soon come to know. Now, what is this great news? Well, I'm not going to read the whole thing. The great news is that there is a God. There's a divine intelligence behind all of reality, behind existence, behind you, me, and our capacity to communicate, behind the Logos. There is a divine intelligence. And each one of us with our souls has to give account of how we've used our lives. So education is not limited to our lifespan. It survives death, and we will give account to our Creator, our line manager, our angelic guides, whatever you want to call it, after death. And the Quran is just saying that. That's the good news. And the people of justice and righteousness, verily for the righteous, there will be a fulfillment of the heart's desires. Gardens enclosed and grapevines, companions of equal age, and a cup full to the brim. No vanity shall they hear therein, nor untruth. recompense from thy Lord, a gift amply sufficient. So the good news is that, yes, there is a divine intelligence which is within you and me and between us, and after death it lives on. So when I'm gone, my body's gone, burnt, buried, well, the divine intelligence that is within me, the spark of consciousness that Descartes talked about, that I think, therefore I am, will continue. I will go on thinking, and therefore I will go on being in some other realm. That's what the Quran says. And if you've been righteous, if you've been truthful, if you've been loving and compassionate, your heart's desire will be fulfilled in that other realm. My dear friend Terry Dobney has just died, the Archdruid of Avebury. I've known him for 20 years. You know, he's gone into that other realm. He's probably looking for the gate to everywhere as we speak. I mean, he was a biker. He loved bikes. He loved druidry. I mean, his heaven will be a summerlands of, you know, perpetual druid rituals. It'll be like an Avebury in the sky with occasional bike rides. And I believe he was a man of great peace. He loved peace. I'm sure he's showering down upon Ireland and Afghanistan and all the conflicts. He also served in the military for a while, you know. He will try and send as much peace as he can smuggle out of heaven, like Prometheus, smuggling the fire. So, but it lives on. Terry lives on. His consciousness lives on, just as mine will, or my father's does. All of us that want righteousness, we achieve our heart's desire. Now that's what the great news is. Now for me, it's going to be a heavenly library. I've said this before. The only other person I've encountered that said that was King Alfred the Great, who wanted a library in heaven. And it's a lovely story that he wrote to his friend, the Archbishop of Wales, Asa, and said, is there a library in heaven? Because I don't have time to read and study as much as I want. I'm a king, I have to do battles and justice and law and God knows what, politics. And Asa wrote back and said, yes, O king, there will be a library in heaven. They'll make one, especially for you if there isn't one already. It's kind of a bit of flattery, of course there was one already. But so, to me, heaven will be like an Oxford college full of the most incredible books from all different cultures, civilizations, and you know, that to me, that's a scholar's paradise, right? And the Quran is telling me, yeah, that's fine, because it's your heart's desires will be fulfilled. So anyway, so what's to fight about? You know, we have this amazing life here. Let's enjoy it. Let's live it to the full. Let's do our best for each other. Let's love each other. And then we have a sort of paradise awaiting us. But what we mustn't do is untruth and violence and hatred and all that stuff. Otherwise, I'm afraid you don't get to that paradise, says the Quran. You get to a sort of limbo where you have to live through the fires of your conscience, which are called hell. And it's not very pleasant. So don't go down that route is all I can say. And I would say that to people like Boris Johnson and the Trumps and the mendacious military warlords that are running the planet. I would say listen to the small, still voice of peace, the calm clarity of what the Quran calls the Shekinah, the descent of the peace. It's a Kabbalistic term again. And then we will make it through as a planet. But if we don't rise up and oppose with our small, still voice the ignorance of these warlords, we won't make it through. You know, the planet will go down. And I don't want to be asleep on my watch, so to speak. I'm here as a philosopher in residence on this planet. And I'll go on speaking the truth until we get there. So anyway, on behalf of the Delphic Games and on behalf of my institute and on behalf of the Planetary Enlightenment, you know, team, and there are many of us and there are some wonderful people speaking out now. You know, thank you for all of you. You're all my friends and dear colleagues.